Canada is about to spend tens of billions of dollars locking itself into the most expensive fighter jet program in history. And in 2023, a U.S. congressional committee quietly exposed something Canadians were never really clearly told. When American lawmakers asked U.S. defense officials a very basic question, how many F-35s can actually do the job they were built for, the answers range from uncomfortable to shocking. The Secretary of the Air Force admitted the number wasn't good, the Chief of Staff couldn't give the number at all, and the Secretary of Defense refused to call the program a failure, even when shown that only about 29% of the aircraft were fully mission capable. 29%. This isn't anti-American, it's about Canadian sovereignty, it's about Canadian money and Canadian defense decisions being tied to a system the U.S. itself admits it has no control over. Let's walk through the hearing, the testimony, and what it means for Canada. This is Pierre Shields for North of MAGA. Secretary Kendall, who is the 26th United States Secretary of the Air Force, the civilian head of the U.S. Air Force and U.S. Space Force, is asked how many F-35s are mission capable. Let's hear what he has to say.
F-35 is our signature Air Force platform. What percentage of them are fully mission capable today?
55%.
55%
for
Is that,
operational.
do you think that's a good number or a bad number?
I think that's not a good number.
Failing. Lieutenant General Schmidt, head of the F-35 program, gave testimony to the TAL subcommittee at HASC. As of February of 2023, only 29% were fully mission capable.
Secretary Kendall's 55% is actually the operational availability. Don't. General Alvin, General David Wayne Alvin, is a four-star general of the United States Air Force who served as the 23rd Chief of Staff of the Air Force, the highest uniformed position in the U.S. Air Force, and a member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. So he's asked how many F-35s are mission capable. Let's see what he says.
I think we need to talk difference between operational availability
Okay.
and mission capable.
Okay, so how many are fully mission capable today?
I do not have that number.
So you would agree that 55% is like a D, that 29% is definitely failing, right? I just think anyone watching this, one, would be surprised that you, General, don't know the exact percentage that are operationally capable. And two, I think people would be surprised that it's 29%.
That's shockingly low. Let's take a look at what the GAO report from defense.com tells us about the reason why it's so low.
And this GAO report that I found on breakingdefense.com that I seek unanimous consent to enter into the record, it says that the reason we are not capable is because you guys at the Pentagon have given too much power to Lockheed Martin and its subcontractors for sustainment. Do you believe Lockheed Martin has been given too much power on the sustainment of the F-35?
Okay, so here's an answer that's not an answer, that's very political. It has absolutely nothing. Watch this.
I believe that Lockheed Martin has more power than in some other weapon systems.
So now Matt Gaetz goes back to the GAO report once again and makes it very, very clear.
Only 29% of them are fully operationally capable right now. We've all agreed that's failing. So now the question is, why is it failing? And this GAO report says the reason it's failing is because the fox is watching the hen house. Because the very contractor bilking the taxpayer for this platform is now in a position where they can't sustain it. Do you have a basis to disagree with that conclusion?
Secretary Kendall says he saw the problem back in 2010. And he says that the government isn't running the F-35 program. Lockheed Martin is. Let's take a look.
First time I saw the program laid out, the schedule for it and so on, and when the decisions and points were going to be, the question I asked, and I'm going to quote myself, who's running this program, the government or Lockheed Martin? That's a quote from 2010.
I think you have your answer, Mr. Secretary.
And we set up the program, and it was originally set up under a philosophy of management called total system performance, which essentially gave to the prime contractor complete control of the program. We did not acquire the intellectual property to allow the government to come in and step in and control the program.
It sounds like
we are still fighting that problem today.
Well, right, but that is such important testimony for us to hear. Every member of the committee heard that. The government isn't running this program. Lockheed Martin's running this program.
That was a question I asked.
Well, it sounds like you got the answer. What's the answer to the question, Mr. Secretary? Because only 29% of them are operationally capable.
We took a lot of steps to try to get that under control. I once imposed a production contract on Lockheed. I dictated a price to them because we couldn't get a negotiation done. I did a unilateral contract. let them take me to court if they wanted to. They chose not to. Put in place program managers who were very firm with the contractor and insisted on performance.
Secretary Austin is asked by Gates if the F-35 program is a failure. Secretary Austin, if you don't know, is Steve Austin, $6 million man. He was rebuilt. No. Secretary Austin refers to Lloyd J. Austin III, who served as the 28th United States Secretary of Defense from January 22nd, 2021 to January 20th, 2025 under President Joe Biden. Now, take a good look at Mr. Austin. He does not look pleased to be getting these questions. Whew. I'm even a bit scared when I look at him. Whoa. Let's take a look.
The F-35 program. Is the F-35 program a failure?
No.
How much does an F-35 cost?
Well, it depends on the variant, but
100 million? Safe to say? 100 million a copy? Okay, so we just had the Air Force in here, and I said, what percentage of these F-35s are fully mission capable? And they said 29%. Do you have any basis to disagree with that assessment?
I don't have any basis to disagree
Okay.
with the Secretary.
So at 100 million a copy, 29% being fully mission capable, does that seem low to you?
Okay, after being thoroughly schooled by Gates, this is terrible, and hearing that it's 29% and just getting schooled and just getting ripped, the Secretary gives us a political answer. It's complicated. It's the best aircraft in the inventory, and then Gates brings him a few more facts.
It's a complex airframe, and again, there are a number of reasons why a platform could be not operational at any one given time. But
Right, but I mean, how many?
Having said that, it is one of the best aircraft in the inventory.
The best aircraft in the inventory. Well, Mr. Secretary, there's a GAO report that takes a very different view. Mr. Chairman, I seek unanimous consent to enter the GAO report entitled F-35 sustainment cost will continue to rise while planned use and availability have decreased.
Without objection, so ordered.
It reads, cost to sustain the F-35 fleet keep increasing from $1.1 trillion in 2018 to $1.58 trillion in 2023. Yet DoD plans to fly the F-35 less than originally estimated, partly because of reliability issues with the aircraft. The F-35's ability to perform its mission has also trended downward over the last 5 years. How many $100 million paperweights do we own?
I would not categorize the F-35 as a paperweight.
I would not categorize the F-35 as a paperweight. The Secretary is in complete denial. Again, Matt Gates goes on to rip him another one. Watch this.
Well, if it's not mission capable, if it's, what do we just stare at it and admire it?
We continue to work to make sure that we get our aircraft operational.
Don't you think at 100 million a clip, more than 29% should be fully operational? And if the fact that we can't get them operational, you know what Secretary Kendall said when he was sitting in that chair? He said the core root of the problem is that we had let Lockheed Martin build this thing, and then we gave Lockheed Martin the full system performance contract. And they keep bilking us, according to the GAO, and we sit around staring at a $100 million airplane that can't fully perform the mission, and you're sitting here telling me it's not a failure. Just own up to it, Mr. Secretary. Just say, this airframe has not delivered, it's too costly, it's not being utilized as we should, and we should never again make the mistake of doing a full system performance contract with the very person who built the aircraft. Could we agree to that?
It looks to me like the U.S. Air Force has never written a contract. U.S. Air Force, 1947, I think. It looks like they've never written a contract. How was this put into place? It's the ultimate buffoonery. And when I talk about what's going on with the F-35 and cost overruns, I'll get these pretentious people coming in saying, you don't understand the project management in the comments. Please, please. It's so obvious to anybody looking from the outside. Let's listen to this now.
I agree. In the future, we should have a different approach.
What this hearing made clear was that the F-35 debate was never about stealth or sensors. It's about what happens when governments give contractors control over sustainment, intellectual property, and pricing, and then discover they no longer have leverage at all. For Canada, it isn't theoretical. It's our pilots, it's our budget, it's our strategic independence on the line for decades. If you found this breakdown useful, subscribe to North of MAGA for clear Canadian analysis that cuts through the spin. Like and share if you believe accountability matters more than prestige platforms. And if you want to support the channel directly, check out the North of MAGA merchandise. And consider using Super Thanks to buy me a coffee. It genuinely helps keep this work independent. Thanks for spending time with me. I'm Pierre Shields for North of MAGA. Go play outside.